Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's video I'm super excited about, and this one is going to be all about past lives, regressions, yeah, all that fun stuff, reincarnation obviously. I'm super excited. So yeah, past life regressions is definitely something that has really, like, from the moment I heard about it, when I got into spirituality and stuff, I just knew. I like was instantly very connected with it, and I was like, that makes sense. It's something about it clicked, you know. I grew up not like super religious, but in a Christian based household, and there was just something about reincarnation. When I heard about it, that was for me. I was like, that's it. Like, that makes sense. That resonates. So once I really learned about all of this and past regressions, like, that was it. Like, I was like, oh my God, I know. Like, this is it. I have to learn more. And so I've actually never professionally had a past life reading done. That is absolutely something I am planning on doing and want to do. Where I'm from and where I'm located, you know, spirituality is not popular. I'm like the black sheep of where I'm from, I feel like sometimes. And so it's not like easily accessible to get readings locally. I guess I could have went the online avenue, but I just never, I don't know, I never thought about it until more recent. But that is absolutely something I would love to do professionally. But I have done many past life regressions on my own, and we'll talk about those in this video. I'm excited. But yeah, just it's wild. Okay, so yeah, so oh, also, I wanted to say, because I love hearing about other people's experiences and stuff, if you have a past life regression, or a past life, leave it in the comments. I love hearing and reading about other people's experiences, and so if anything I'm talking about like resonates, or you have your own experience, please tell me. I want to read all of it. I love it. I'm so into it. Okay, so some ways, or some, I guess, like what I like to call them is like insights into your past lives, some physical, tangible insights that you would get in this lifetime are, so birthmarks is a huge one. A lot of times birthmarks, when you do a past life regression and then you come back or whatever from it, you're like, oh my God, it all of a sudden makes perfect sense. My boyfriend, which I'm going to talk about because I have a past life regression, we'll circle back to this, but he has a birthmark on his chest, and on exactly through his like back is another one. It is a bullet hole, like a bullet went in, and then the one on the front is a little bit bigger. Like, it's exactly of what a bullet hole would look like. And like I said, I'm going to circle back to this, but in a past lifetime, a regression I had done, and I had always kind of thought it was him just based on the energies of it. He died from a bullet, like a gun. So wild. And like I said, we'll circle back. But so birthmarks, or I know a couple people who have birthmarks like in the shape of like states or like countries or like different things, and like that's where they lived in that past lifetime. So another like physical way to have an insight into a past life is aversions. So if you have like just a really weird, strong like aversion to something with no real reason behind it, or fears, phobias, strong phobias are a lot of times linked into past lives, or even aversions to people. Like, you meet somebody and you're like, like, and you don't know why, but you're just like, it might be like a past life, like karmic thing going on. So like for me personally with aversions, seafood, I can't, like, so I'm older now, so I've learned how to manage it, but when I was a child, I could not smell any. If I even smelt it, I would immediately throw up, like, sick to my stomach. I still to this day do not eat any seafood in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't care if it's shrimp, I don't care if it's fried, I don't care if it is crab, like lobster, I don't care. Like, no, don't want it. And I've always been this way. And in one of my past lifetimes, which once again I'll go into, I was a fisherman on a boat, and I like lived on a boat. So just so crazy, so wild. Another physical way is strong connections. So opposite of aversions, connections. So you feel really drawn or strongly connected to maybe like a culture, a civilization, or maybe like a place in the world. You just have always, like since you were a child, just loved this place even though you've never been there or don't have any other physical reason to like it. Like it's just a weird, like you've just dreamed of this place always or something. And once again, this could be with people too. You know, you meet somebody and you're just like, I know you. Like I know you, you know, and it's just like you've never met them before, or like something weird like that. So those are all physical ways that we could tell in this lifetime or have insights into, like if you have something like that, like a really strong random aversion or a really strong random connection or a birthmark that you're like, that looks like something, or like that's, you know, any of those is I guarantee you if you did a past life regression, it would, I don't want to say like solve that, but it would solve the mystery of it. You'd be like, oh my god, that makes so much fucking sense. So before I get into my experiences, I kind of want to talk about like why are past life regressions important. So like, okay, cool. Maybe we do reincarnate. Like maybe we do live many lifetimes. Like, so like why? Like what's the point, right? So two big things came to me when I was like meditating and like thinking about like, what's the point of this video? Like why do I want to talk about it? And it was like, so the first thing is we are all universe, fractals of universe trying to experience ourselves. So that is what the point of reincarnation is. And I believe, you know, do your own research and make your own beliefs and opinions, of course. I believe that, you know, we reincarnate as animals. I believe we reincarnate as plants and trees. I believe we reincarnate as interdimensional beings off of this planet. Like, I don't believe we just keep reincarnating on Earth as humans. But, you know, that's up to you to choose if you believe that. But I believe reincarnation is the source experiencing itself in every way, shape, and form. And it's just continually learning and re-experiencing and growing and evolving, and it's beautiful. So that's the first thing, is we reincarnate to re-experience and to experience who we are and who we are not, and experience every facet and form of life that it has to offer. And then the second thing, and this is more, so that's more, I guess, of like the spiritual reason why. This is more of, I guess, gives a reason to this 3D experience, and it's to neutralize karma. So when we have experiences, any action creates a reaction, so it creates karma. Karma is not like this, oh, karma's a bitch. Like, it's not this all evil thing. Like, karma just is. And you create good karma and you create bad karma. And a lot of times, I would say most times, it is unconsciously created. Which is why past life regressions are so beautiful. Because you can become conscious of, when you do a past life regression, how do I want to put this? So you do a past life regression and you could see karmas that have been created in your life and between you and other souls, and you can neutralize and transmute those karmas, and that's basically your soul learning that lesson, or, you know, being released from that cycle that it becomes stuck in when it's in a karmic unconscious cycle. And so for me, when I did my past life regressions, they connected to things in my life, and I was able to transmute and neutralize those energies and those karmas. And this is, like I said, this is my experience, so I can't speak for everyone, but for me, after, no matter how minute or whatever these experiences were, but after I did these past life regressions, and then I went back and I healed and transmuted these karmas of these regressions, my life got better in my real 3D physical life today. So I think to better explain what I mean by that, I'm going to have to start digging into some of my past lives. So I'll start explaining those to you, and I can explain how I went back into those past lives and transmuted that energy, and how then it enhanced my life today. Okay. So I've had many that I've done. Some resonate more than others, or the message was more clear. But there's three main ones that I really, when I did it, I don't know if I was just deeper in a more meditative state or what, but when I went in it, I was like really in it. Like it was just, I can't verbally explain how in it I was in these lives. Like I felt every emotion. Like I looked down, like I was in it, and I knew I was able to really see clearly what was going on in these regressions. So the first one I did was the boat one. So when I was talking about the aversions. So I was a man in that life, and I lived on this boat, and I was a fisherman, and that's how I survived. And in that lifetime, I was in love with a woman, and she obviously was at home and while I was away, and I spent a lot of time, like it was like I was like for months I would be gone at a time on this boat. And it was brutal, by the way. The boat was it was not a luxury. It was brutal. It was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. And in this life I was so lonely, and just the pain was just it was, I can't even, like I said, even in this life, I can't even explain how it felt in that life. I just felt so alone, and so just, but, so I was on this boat, I was in love with this woman. Anyways, so it turned out she cheated on me while I was away on this boat, and she was like my everything. Like she was like the reason I was doing everything, and like, in this life, I could not figure out why I wasn't good enough. I did everything for her. Like, I loved her so much, and I was just never, I wasn't good enough. And so in that lifetime, I just had a lot of loneliness, a lot of isolation feelings, a lot of feelings of, like, lack of self-worth. I wasn't good enough. I'll never be good enough, you know? So that was the gist of that lifetime. And so when I came back from that lifetime, I came back into my body, I woke up from that meditative state, I was like shook. I was like, first off, I felt all that heavy emotion. Like I felt it, like I was still crying. Like when I got out of my meditation, I was like upset, and like, you know, and it took me a long time, like honestly, I think until like a year ago. So I did that regression like 9 years ago, I want to say. It took me until about a year ago to really truly unpack all of that stuff. But the main lesson, and so what I did was, and this is what you could do with past life regressions, and it's really cool. So you have the past life regression, and you take what you need from it. For me, it took 9 years. I don't think it needs to take that long, but it did for me in this lifetime, for this particular lesson. I, sat with it, I unpacked it, I digested it, I meditated on it, like what does this mean? So finally when I was ready and I healed those wounds, I went back and because in quantum physics, like you can quantum leap, and if you understand quantum physics, you understand what I'm saying, and you might not yet, and that's okay, but you can quantum leap. So I went back into that lifetime and I transmuted that energy, and I wasn't lonely on a boat. I didn't poor me victim mode. I didn't lose my self-worth. I kind of released her and said, you know what, she's on her journey, that's what she needs to do. And I ended up, after I went back into that lifetime transmutation, I ended up happily married, and I supported my family, and it ended up being very beautiful and magical. And so I went back, and the energies of that lifetime went from being very dark and very dismal, and lack of self-worth and all this stuff, to I overcame this, like, and to I really was happy again. And so in this lifetime, once I was able to kind of transmute and understand that, I noticed in my life I did suffer, like 8 or 9 years ago when I did this regression, I was suffering with lack of self-worth. I'm never going to be good enough. Just those kind of thought processes. And I was, at that point in my life, very lonely. Like, I did have friends and stuff, but I felt like, to be honest, and this is very vulnerable that I'm even saying this, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but here it comes. I used to sit and cry and be like, I'm gonna die alone. Like, I'm gonna die alone, and nobody loves me. Like, I'm not worth it. Like, and I would just, Like, I really can't believe I'm saying this right now, but that's how I felt. And I vividly remember way too many nights of me just crying myself to sleep with those thoughts. Anyway, so I did, and I did that, and then I did that regression, and I didn't put two and two together. And then after a couple years, I, started changing, and especially since I actually physically quantum leaped and went back and changed that energy. I mean, it's incomparable. I can't even believe I even said that or thought like that. But it took a lot of years of working on myself before I quantum leaped to be able to. But so that is, to me, like, shows how powerful it is to become aware of that a past lifetime and the energies and the karma that you may still be carrying. Once I became aware and I did that regression, I was able to start working on those feelings of self-loathing and of feeling not worthy and of feeling not good enough. Like, those were things I actively started to work on because I was like, this is affecting me, So my second past lifetime that I'm going to bring up now is the one with my boyfriend. So when I did this regression, okay, so this one's crazy because, okay, so I did this regression, and I always kind of was like, oh my God, I think that this is him in this regression. So in this regression, I was dating a man, and the man was, like, in the mob. Like, it was back in, like, I think, like, the 1920s, I want to say, 1930s, I think was the era, based on, like, the way we were dressing and talking and stuff. And he was, like, a part of the mob, like, deep in the mob. And, I was in love with him, and, we were happy, and we had a beautiful place and whatever. Anyways, he ends up getting shot and killed, which, it was devastating. I was devastated, but I also understood with what his job was and what he did that was, like, a thing, but, like, still devastated. And he had a best friend in that lifetime, and, anyways, and so I don't need to go into all that, but the energies of that lifetime, I always just thought it was him, and I was like, I think that the guy that got killed is my boyfriend now. And then, when I realized, I always knew he had the birthmark on his chest, but when I realized he had an exact one on his back, and I was really, like, studying him, I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, it literally confirmed it to me. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, you are him, he is you. Like, what the, mind blown. But with that lifetime, I was able to transmute those energies and that karma. That lifetime had a lot of karma, like, subconscious karma. So, like, I didn't know everything that I was able to learn when I went back into the regression. So in that lifetime that I was living in the 1920s, I was lacking some information that I was able to gain when I went back and into that lifetime, if that makes sense. And so those energies, there was a situation in my life, and I was able to completely transmute those energies and transmute all of it. And without going into much detail, that lifetime is very profound to me, and it definitely was easier for me to, I guess, master that lifetime or understand the lesson in life that lifetime than it was for me in the boat lifetime. And then the third regression I'm going to bring up, this one I did actually very recently, and I'm still unpacking. I'm still unpacking this one, so, but I'm just going to share it because it's on my mind, I guess, because it's probably my most recent, and I'm still digging through it. But in this lifetime, I was some sort of, like, king, or maybe an emperor, or, like, somebody of, like, substantial power, kind of. I was really well liked. Like, I was, this is in, like, I want to say it was, like, in BC time, or, like, it was like thousands and hundreds of thousands, like, so long ago. I don't know, I don't have an exact date for this one, but I was some kind of king, and I was really well liked by the civilization that I was in charge of, or ruling, or whatever. Like, people just loved me. I had a wife in that lifetime, and, she killed herself and blamed me and said it was because I cared more about the people than I did about her. And so, like I said, still unpacking this one because it's heavy and it was just super interesting. But yeah, so those are my examples of past life regressions, or my personal 3 that I've done, and how I have used those lessons of those lifetimes and then transmuted them to learn lessons in this lifetime. And that, honestly, at the end of the day, is what I think the most important. Like, well, one, they're freaking interesting. Like, I don't know how you could not be interested in it. But it really does, if you go into it with an open mind and you're ready to kind of heal yourself. And honestly, I'm going to say, like, all of these regressions have been painful. Like, painful lessons and, like, things that I really had to overcome, not only in that life, but overcome in this life. And that's the thing about it, is going back, healing the traumas in that life, transmuting and neutralizing those energies, and healing yourself in this life. That's the point of everything we're doing, I believe. That's the point. That's what our soul wants to do. Yeah, so like I said, you could go, there's online, like, there's a lot of professional past life regressionists, so you can go online and search one out. There's also so many you could do on YouTube. Just type in past life regression meditations. My first time I've ever done it was through a book. Let me see, hold on, I'm gonna grab it. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is the book that I used. Very, very powerful. Yeah, The Power of Your Past Lives by Sandra Ann Taylor. So I highly recommend this one. This one was the most powerful, but the last life I did, the most recent one, I used the YouTube meditation, and I definitely feel like there's an important lesson for me in that last one too. So yeah, so that is my past life regression video. Like I said before, if you have any weird birthmarks, any weird aversions or connections, if you have a personal past life story, like, please, please, please comment. Like, I love, love, love hearing about it. I love reading about it. It's seriously one of my favorite topics. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did resonate with my content, if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to At the Astro Realm. I appreciate it so much. It helps me spread awareness and knowledge, which is my intentions, of course, in what I'm doing. I just want to share with others what I have with others, and hopefully gain some knowledge from you guys as well. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.